Good evening to all. This is Kaushal, and I welcome you all to Level Up. Please let me know, is voice audible to you guys so that we can start this session. This session is going to be very important for you guys because what we are dealing with ancient and medieval history in one shot here, right? So that is going to be very important for you guys for revision purpose as well, right? So please let me know, is voice clear to you guys? Just give me a comment so that we can start with that. Please let me know. Please join the session quickly because as we have to deal with a lots of question over here since exams are around the corner, right? So what we need to do, we need to do quick revisions over here, right? Okay, let's go. The voice is audible, right? Okay, so we're starting the session. Starting the session with the first question. So what is the topic? The topic is going to be the ancient and medieval history. Fine. So the first question of the day will be from the ancient history. So what I have done it for you guys as like first we will discuss the ancient history. Thereafter, you will see the section of medieval history as well. Okay, fine. Okay, so starting the session now. The first question is which of the following was not a prominent city of Indus Valley civilization? See, so I will give some brief detail about Indus Valley civilization. It was somewhere between 2500 BC to 750 BC. Most accepted time period is this. Okay, and the term that is Indus Valley civilization, the term was coined by whom? The term was coined by John Marshall. Please remember all these stuffs, right? These can be directly asked in your examination. Okay, so about the Indus Valley civilization, so there were four extents, right? So suppose this was Indus Valley civilization, so to the easternmost part, so we have to know the easternmost, westernmost and all these parts. Okay, so easternmost part was extended to Alamgirpur, which is now in UP. Okay, the southern part is Daimabad, which is now in Maharashtra. Okay, the western part is Sutka Gendor, which is close to Pakistan and Iran border, right? The Pashtun region it is. And the northernmost part is Manda. It is Manda, which is present in Jammu and Kashmir region, right? So this was the extent of Indus Valley civilization. So in Indus Valley civilization, we were known about some of the important cities like Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, right? Similarly, there were lots of more, cities were there like Lothal, right? Lothal was there. Similarly, Sutka Gendor was there, right? Surka Toda was there. Surka Toda. Kalibangan was there. So these were the important cities. So Takshila will be the right answer, because it has written which was not the prominent city. So Takshila was the educational and the trade center over there. Okay. Next question. Hope this question is clear to you guys. So we have to move faster today as there are close to 50 plus questions to discuss today, right? But this session will be very important to you guys for revision purpose as well. So what are the primary characteristics of urban planning observed in the Indus Valley civilization? So what was that? Is that the circular cities layout or the grid patterns were like, the streets were in the grid pattern, hilltops, fortresses were there, or the agricultural features were the most important feature? So here you can see the streets were patterned in a grid pattern. Grid pattern means what? So it is intersecting at 90 degrees. It is like that, right? It is like that. It is a grid pattern, right? So the feature was of the grid pattern of the streets. Okay. So there were two reasons. One is known as citadel, and the second one is known as lower town, or lower cities. So citadel was the uplifted area where it was assumed that aristocrats or the higher status people used to live in the citadels. So lower town people were not allowed to enter into the citadel. It is like that. Suppose this is a highland area and this is lowland area. So citadel was here and lower town is like here. Okay. So B is the right answer. Correct. Which of the following materials was primarily used in the construction of buildings of the Indus Valley civilization? So we all know that the Indus Valley civilization was a urban civilization. What it was? Urban civilization. So as you know, urban civilization was there. So it must be, made up of burnt bricks. So this was the important features, right? Important feature, because in the medieval time, or you will say at the end of the ancient period, we have not seen any kind of, proof of burnt bricks. But before that, we are getting Indus Valley civilizations, characteristics as burnt bricks that was there. Okay, correct. The Great Bath found in Mohenjo-daro is believed to have been used for what purpose? So the first information is that Great Bath was in Mohenjo-daro. So Mohenjo-daro was the most important city then, most important, right? Harappa was after that. Harappa was after that. That is Mohenjo-daro, first priority city. Second was Harappa. Okay. So one thing we know from here, that is the Great Bath was in Mohenjo-daro. Now you need to answer it. So for what purpose the Great Bath was used? It is believed to be what? For what purpose it was used? For ritualistic or ceremonial bathings, right? So on any occasion, like on pious occasions, what people used to do, they used to do ceremonial bathing. As it is, one of the culture in Hinduism, even now, that is people on, ceremonial bathing they do in Ganga, right? So kind of this. So Harappa was, here one thing you have to know, that who were the, founders of, or excavator of Harappa. So Harappa was excavated by Daya Ram Sahni. Please remember these stuffs, right? It is very important. And Mohenjo-daro was excavated by Rakhel Das Banerjee. Rakhel Das Banerjee in the year of 1922. So Dayaram Saini like excavated Harappa first in 1921, and Rakhel Das Banerjee and another excavator excavated Mohenjo-daro, or you can say founded Mohenjo-daro in 1922 in the just next year, right? So these two names are very important. You have to memorize it, right? You have to remember it. Next, which script is associated with the Indus Valley civilization? So we actually is not able to decipher the proper text of Indus Valley civilization. Okay, so it was not Brahmini, it was not Kharoshti, it was not in the form of cuneiform, right? So this script is known as Indus script, as it is yet to be discovered or deciphered. So as the name suggests, the Indus Valley civilization has the Indus script. So there were, like symbols were there, like the fish symbol was there, or the square symbols were there, circular symbols were there, and it was written as from right to left, and then from, it was like that, from right to left, then from left to right. Bostrofedon, right? This structure is known as, or this type of writing is known as Bostrofedon, like that. Okay. So the Indus Valley civilization script is known as what? Indus script. Okay. Next question. Which of the following text is considered to be the oldest of the Vedas? So Vedas are actually of four types. Okay. So at the end of this session, or at the end of the ancient history part, I have left some of the blank sheets where I will give you more than 10 or 15 important questions from there, from the ancient history. So please try to remember those things also, right? Since we cannot cover all the questions from ancient history, so I have kept some of the pages blank so that we can discuss more and more questions from there. Okay. Okay. So which is the oldest text? So as you know, Vedas are of four types. Four types of Vedas are there. Okay. So what it is? First is Rig Veda. Second is Samved, Samaved, right? So you must be heard about these type of Veds or must be knowing this. Third is Yajur Veda and fourth is Atharva Veda. Okay, so these four Vedas are there. So the oldest one is the Rig Veda. It is the oldest one. Fine. And these three Vedas, please remember these three Vedas are known as Vedatrayi. These three Vedas, that is Rig Veda, Sam Veda and Yajur Veda, are known as what? Vedatrayi. Vedatrayi. Please remember this, right? So these three Vedas are known as Vedatrayi. Correct? One more important thing, that at that moment there were four important Vedic literatures were there. Four important Vedic literatures. Vedic literatures were there. What are they? First, the Vedas are also known as Samhitas. Please write it down. Samhitas. So Vedas are also known as Samhitas. So the first one is the Vedas. So if you want to have Vedic literature or Vedic knowledge, so you must know the Vedas, that is the Samhitas. Second one, you must know the Brahmanas. Brahmanas. Third one, the Aryankas. And the fourth one is the Upanishads. So you must be having all the four, literary knowledge. So to be called as, Vedic literature. Correct? So the right answer will be, that is Rigved. So these things are very important. So you must know this, right? Okay. So Samved basically deals with the music, right? In Atharvaved you will see magical spells. Okay. Next, question number 7. During the Vedic period, the society was primarily organized into which of the following groups? So, as you know, the Rig Veda was divided into 10 mandalas. 10, sorry, not 10th, it will be 10 mandalas. So the Rig Veda was divided into 10, 10 mandalas. Okay. Right? So 10 mandalas it is. So in the very 10th mandal, that is from 2nd to 7th mandal, it is written about what? The things are written about what? Gotras. Right? In the 9th mandal, you will see the things were written about Somras, Somadas. And the 10th mandal is known as what? The 10th mandal is very important, and this is known as Purushukta. Purushukta, right? The 10th mandal is known as Purushukta. Purushukta. So in this Purushukta, it was written that the society was divided into 4 Varnas. Varnas, that is what? Brahmins. Second is Kshatriyas. Third, Vaishyas. And the fourth one is the Shudras. Okay. So you have to say on what basis they were primarily organized. So you guys are answering it as on the caste based system. That is true. So you can say it was based on the caste based system. So you must remember all these things. Rig Veda has 10 mandalas. From 2nd to 7th it was about the Gotras. In the 7th mandal you will study about the Somas. In the 10th mandal you will know about so that the 10th mandal is known as the Purusuktas. And in that Purusuktas you will get about the knowledge about the 4 Varnas. That is Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras. Okay, fine. Next question. Which of the following features characterizes the latter Vedic as compared to the early Vedic? So please mention the time frame the early Vedic period was from 1500 to 1000 BC. Okay. Latter Vedic period was from 1000 to 600 BC. So remember all this stuff, right? Please try to remember all this stuff. These are actually, kind of questions which I cannot put. Okay. So please answer this question. So which of the following feature characterizes the what latter Vedic age? So in the latter Vedic age, what is happening? Increase in the urbanization was happening. Increase in the urbanization was happening in the latter Vedic age. Okay. Next question. The concept of dharma in the Vedic texts primarily refers to. What does it mean? The dharma means what? The concept of dharma means moral and ethical duties. That is, you have to be moral and you have to do ethical duties, right? It was not about rituals and sacrifices, not the spiritual liberation. So these things were not in the dharma as per the Vedic texts. So as per the Vedic text, you have to be moral and ethical duties you have to do. Like as a child, you have to do what? You have to take care of your mother, you have to take care of your father. As a brother, what you have to do? You have to ensure the safety of your sister, right? In this way, like as a brother, what you have to do, as a son, you have what you have to do. After attaining a certain age, you have to fulfill the needs of the family. So in this way, the dharma was like that. Okay. Question number 10. The samhitas or the Vedic text primarily consists of. So samhitas are known as, that is, Vedas. So primarily this text consists of what? Hymns and the mantras. So in these Vedas, the literary texts are in the form of hymns and the mantras, right? It is not philosophical discussions. Philosophical discussions are there in Upanishads, and it is like close to 108 Upanishads we know. Okay, so the philosophical discussions was in the Upanishads. In the Samhitas, the primary texts are hymns and the mantras. Correct. Next question. Which dynasty was the first to establish Magad as the significant political power in ancient India? Okay, so the first political power, or you can say the first political, uh, dynasty was the Haryankas. Okay, so I will give you a brief about Haryankas. So the right answer will be Haryankas. So after the age of Mahajanapadas, after the 6th century BC, there were four most important Mahajanapadas were there. Which was what are they? The Magadha, Kosala, Vatsa, and Avanti. So these four most powerful, Mahajanapadas were left. So we are being asked about the Magadha. So in Magadha, which dynasty started ruling? It was Haryanka dynasty. What was the time frame? The Haryanka dynasty started ruling from 544 to 412 BC. So you have to remember this. So first ruler was Bimbisar. The time frame is 544 to 492 BC. Okay, he was the founder. So he was the founder. The second important ruler was Ajat Satru. Ajat Satru. He was from 492 to 460 BC. And third is Udayin. Udayin. Right? He was from 460 to 440 BC. Okay. So Ajat Satru was the contemporary of whom? Like not contemporary, rather you will say during the reign of Ajatasattu, what happened? Gautam Buddha and Mahavir. So who was Gautam Buddha? The founder of Buddhism, right? Buddhism. the founder of Buddhism. Who was Mahavira? Mahavira was the 24th Tirthankar of Jainism. So both Gautam Buddha and Mahavir died during the reign of whom? Ajat Please remember this. This is very important, right? This is very important. You guys must know about this. Okay. So the question might be asked from this section. Correct. So the right answer will be, which dynasty established its most important power? That is, it is known as the dynasty is known as Haryanka dynasty. Correct. And during the reign of Ajat what happened? Gautam Buddha and Mahavir died. Okay. Correct. Next. Okay, what was the significance of Udayin? So he shifted all these questions, like what I am writing here, are can be actually asked in a by making a different question, right? Can be formed as a question. So he shifted the capital. So you can be asked who shifted the capital from Rajgiri to Patliputra. So the answer would be Udayin. So he shifted the capital from Rajgriha to Patliputra. Patliputra means the Patna. Patna means the capital of Bihar right now. Correct? So please try to remember this. Udayin, this part. Okay, Ajasatru. It is important, very important. Okay. So after Haryanka dynasty, other dynasties have also arrived there. So we will talk about this later in the latter part of the lecture. Question number 12. Who was the last ruler of the Shishunag dynasty? Who was the last ruler of Shishunag dynasty? Try to answer it. So here Shishunag was the founder. Shishunag was the founder of Shishunag dynasty. Okay. So Mahanandin was the last ruler. Mahanandin was the last ruler. Okay. So last ruler of Shishunag dynasty was Mahanandin. So the chronology is like in that form, right? First who came? First it was Haryanka dynasty. The time period is 544 BC to 412 BC, as we know. Thereafter came the Shishunag dynasty. Shishunag dynasty. Shishunag dynasty. Shishunag dynasty was from 412 to 344 BC. Okay. So Shishunag dynasty was the successor of the Haryanka dynasty. Correct? Next question. Are you guys following me? Like, is it clear to you guys? Or the session I should slow down, or the speed is okay? Is it okay with you guys? Please let me know. Please let me know quickly in the comment section so that we can cover more and more questions. The speed is okay with you guys? Just trying to put more and more important points, or you can say important topics, so that you can revise it in a proper way. Should not be following any other sources or something like that. So it's like kind of last time revision part. Okay. So what significant policy did Mahapadmananda, the founder of the Nanda dynasty, implemented during his reign? So here you should know. So Mahapadmananda, that is third was the Nanda dynasty. Nanda dynasty. Okay. So it was from 344 BC to what? When the actual Magad Empire started. So before that, it was like this. So what you have to do, you should know the Magad Empire, when the Mauryans actually arrived there. So it was till 322 BC, or sometime it is written as 323 BC. So this is the chronology. After Shishunag, who came? The Nanda dynasty. Okay. So Mahapadmananda was the founder of the Nanda dynasty. So the Nanda dynasty did what? What type of policy he implemented in that? Please let me know. So he did what? He established a centralized administration system. That is, the whole power will be in the hand of whom? Mahapadmananda. After Mahapadmananda, it was Dhananand. Dhananand, the story of Kautilya and all. So it was about that. So Mahapadmananda's son was Dhananand, who actually did what? Did he rejected the suggestions of Kautilya, that is Vishnugupta, and thereafter Vishnugupta adopted a small child of 5 years, that is Chandragupta Maurya, and dethroned them from the Magad Empire. So that was the story. Question number 14. Which of the following statement is true about the Hadyanka dynasty? So already we have gone through Hadyanka dynasty. So the right answer will be what? So Bimbisar was the notable ruler known for his alliances through marriages. So the first ruler of Hadyanka dynasty was Bimbisar, and he used to do what? He used to do alliances through marriage. Through marriage, he used to do what? Alliances. So he was famous for that. That is, a lot of alliances was like formed by that person, that is Bimbisar, and it was successful at that moment because there were lots of wars going around. So to stabilize the kingdom, he used to do marriages. Correct. He even gained Kashi from the king Prasenjit of Kosala. He gained he gained Kasi as dowry from Prasenjit of Kosala. Okay. Next question number 15. The Nanda dynasty is known for its wealth. So they are having lots of wealth, right? So Nanda dynasty was famous for its wealth, and because of wealth, what happens? Like people mostly like come in a position where like they find nobody worthful and something like that. So they actually did what? They talked very badly with Kautilya when was not aware of the foreign aggressions and foreign you know kind of attacks. So what was the primary source of his wealth? So Nanda dynasty do what? So at that moment, what was the main feature? The feature was agriculture, but their wealth was not from agriculture only. So they used to do heavy taxes on the agricultural products. So the answer will be taxation, right? Here the answer will be not agriculture. So if like suppose you guys are doing agriculture and I am suppose the founder of Nanda dynasty or Dhananand, what I will do, I will tax you people and get my wealth from you guys. So it was like that. Okay. So it is easy. Next question. Which ancient text attributed to Kautilya, Kautilya means Vishnugupta, outlines the political philosophy and administrative principles of the modern empire? So where they have written it? Where he has written it? So he has written all these stuffs in Arthashastra. Arthashastra has actually seven political, stages, or you can say pillars. So he has stated there. It is more of, political science. Arthashastra is more of political science, like how a king should be like behaving, like okay. So I'm not going into deep into that story. So he actually formed these seven important pillars in the form of chariot. So he has demonstrated chariot as a seven topics where a king has to follow. So it is more of political science. Next question, question number 17. What is the primary focus of the four noble truths of Buddhism? So there are four noble truths in Buddhism, right? What it will be? So following the what is the primary focus of four noble truths in Buddhism, right? Please answer it. The path of cessation of suffering, right? Primary focus of the four noble truths. Four noble truths was the path of cessation of suffering. So Gautam Buddha actually established four noble truths, right? Uh, it is actually the four noble truths. Like you can be knowing if you like are more deep into this. If you're not knowing this, so this is not the right time to know this, but just I'm dictating it. So what it is, the world is full of sorrow. Okay, the world is full of what? Sorrow. Desire is the root cause of all sorrow. Desire means if you have desire, so it will be the root cause of your sorrow. Sorrow can be conquered by conquering desire. So once you like conquer your desire, that you don't want to have that that luxury, or you don't want to buy that thing. So sorrow can be conquered by conquering your desire, and desire can be conquered by following the eightfold paths. The fourth noble truth was that. So what is the primary focus? The primary focus is to devoid the, or you can say like not letting you to suffer, right? So that will be the right answer. So no, please read about the fourth noble truths, right? So the world is full of sorrow. The desire is the root cause of all sorrow. Sorrow can be conquered by conquering desire, and the last one will be desire can be conquered by following the eightfold paths. Eightfold paths. We talk about this in the latter part of this video. Okay, so that will be C will be the right answer. Which of the following text is considered as the sacred scripture of Jainism? So this is very important. Jainism is very important. So Jainism, just a brief about Jainism. So it has having 24 Tirthankars. Tirthankars means the enlightened one. The enlightened one. Okay. So the first Tirthankar was Rishabhnath. First was Rishabhnath. Please remember this, right? Second is, first was Rishabhnath. Second is Ajitnath. Ajitnath. And after first and second, the most important ones are 23rd and 24th. 23rd Tirthankar was Parshavnath. Parshavnath. Okay, so it was Parshavnath. And 24th, that is the last Tirthankar, was Lord Mahavir. Okay, so it was Lord Mahavir. So the birth period of Lord Mahavir is 540 BC. So he was born where? He was born in Kundalgram, Vaishali. So was born in Kundalgram, Vaishali. Kundalgram, Vaishali. That is in Bihar. So at the initial, that is in the ancient India, you will see a lot of importance of or significance of Bihar was there, right? So what is the sacred scripture of Jainism known as? So it is the Agamas. The Agamas is the sacred scripture. Okay. Next question. Question number 19. In Buddhism, which of the following practices is not a part of the eightfold paths? What are they? Eightfold paths. You should know about the eightfold paths. If you are not knowing, just writing it down in a proper fashion. 1. It is right understanding. Right understanding. Okay. Second, it is right thought. Right thought. You must be thinking in a right way. So next is right speech. So I will do this right speech. Fourth is right what? Right action. Your action should be good. Fifth, right livelihood. Live properly. Livelihood. Okay. Not abusing anyone, right? Not in that way. So right effort. So like as we are doing, right? So our effort should be good so that we can achieve our own goals, right? So it is right efforts. Right mindfulness. Right mindfulness. And the eighth one is right what? Concentration. So these three are very important for us right now. That is, we have to do right efforts, right mindfulness, and right concentration we need to do. Even right thoughts we have to develop, right understanding we have to do, right? So what was there? What is written which is not in was not in the part of the eightfold paths? What will be that answer? What will be the answer? So as I've already mentioned, is there any is there any sentences related to sacrifice over here? No. So right sacrifice was not the practice in the eightfold paths. So please try to remember this. Okay. Remember all these things. So question can be asked in that fashion, right? Which is not the practice or not the part of the eightfold paths. Next question. Are you guys following me? Like understanding it? Okay, fine. Which principle is central to Jainism and emphasizes non-violence towards all living beings. So it must be ahimsa, right? Ahimsa means non-violence. Ahimsa itself means non-violence. So ahimsa is basically the Hindi word of what? Non-violence. So once you know, it is very easier for you, right? So answer will be ahimsa. Ahimsa. Okay. Next question. Which of the following ruler is often regarded as the golden emperor of the Gupta Empire? Why it is golden emperor? Because it was the golden period of Gupta Empire. Because of the large extent of empire, large extent of the empire. So during his empire, period, the empire was of in the largest extent, right? Who was that? Very famous ruler. Very famous ruler. It was Samudragupta. Samudragupta. So some of the important details about Samudragupta, he was known as the Napoleon of India also. Napoleon of India. Who said this? Napoleon of India. Who said this? So this can be asked in your questions, right? Who said that Samudragupta was the Napoleon of India? So it was said by V.A. Smith. V.A. Smith. So see, question can be asked in any way, right? So as you say, like, okay, Samudragupta is known as the Napoleon of India, but the question can be like in that way. Who said us, like, who quoted Samudragupta as the Napoleon of India? It was V.A. Smith. Okay. Samudragupta has a one title called Kaviraj. Kavi Raja. Why? Because he was very interested in music. Okay, so he was very interested in music. Next, so we will discuss about Gupta Empire in the latter part of this lecture. Once we will done with the ancient part, so we will discuss Indus Valley Civilization and Mauryan Empire and Gupta Empire in more detail. Right? Okay. Next, which of the following text is a significant literary work from the Gupta period? So, which type of important literary work was done or was framed during the Gupta period? So the answer will be what? Meghdut. Meghdut. Meghdut by Kalidas. Meghdut by Kalidas. Okay. Please let me know. Please let me know in the comment section. Is this speed is okay with you guys? Because I want to cover more and more question. Please say or whatever you feel like. Please like comment in the comment section. Please let me know first. Just let me know so that we can quickly start or move our sessions quickly. So Meghdutta was written by Kalidas. You can write it. It was Kalidasa. Fine. Perfect place. Okay. तो nachos and cheese scam हो गया. Chandragupta II. No, it's not Chandragupta II. It is Samudragupta. So Samudragupta was the father of Chandragupta II or the Vikramaditya. So we will know about this in the latter part of this ancient history. The famous iron pillar located in India, in Delhi. It is known as Mehraulli's pillar. Mehrauli. Mehraulli's pillar. So it is in the compound of what? It is in the compound of Qutub Minar. So where the Qutub Minar is established, or you can say constructed, in the suppose it is a Qutub Minar, right? So suppose it is a Qutub Minar. So here you will see small iron shaped pillar. What it is? It is known as Mehraulli's pillar. So this famous iron pillar has not rusted yet. Not rusted. Not rusted. Because it was made by some alloys, right? So during whose period this famous iron pillar was Maurya. So some of the students are saying about this as Maurya. It is in the period of Gupta period, right? It was in the period of Gupta period. Okay. So the cheese and nachos has answered Chandragupta II. So the right answer will be Chandragupta II from Gupta period. Chandragupta II has made the Madoli's pillar. So it was in the Gupta period. Okay. So cheese and nachos might be happy that okay, the right answer is in some different question. Okay. Okay. Jokes apart. Next question. Which of the following achievements is not associated with the Gupta Empire? So this was not the achievement achieved by the Gupta Empire. What was that? What was that? So they were not the people who constructed the Great Wall. It was in the China, right? So this question has three important segments. What you need to understand. So during the Gupta Empire, establishment of vast trade network was done. It is very important. So invention of concept of zero, yani that is Aryabhat. Aryabhat was the contemporary of Gupta Empire. So you can derive some of the important, topics or important questions from this part only. That is, establishment of vast trade network was the part of achievement by the Gupta empires. The invention of zero was done in the Gupta period. Advancement in the astronomy and mathematics was done in the Gupta period. So Gupta period or the Gupta empire was known as the golden period of India. Gupta period is known as the golden period of in the history of India. Golden period in the history of India because they were very powerful as well as they were doing advancement in the astronomy and mathematics. So that is very important. Like if you are politically stable, so you can do lots of activity inside the country. So the political establishment or stability is very important. As you can see in the China, like they are politically very stable. Xi Jinping is there, like he's doing good job. Okay. So in India also, like you can see lots of right now. I mean lots of construction activities going on. So we need actually a very stable and concrete political party anywhere, like it can be BJP, Congress, or somewhere some any political party, but we need consolidation in that. Okay, for this following developments, so this should be known to us. Okay, next. So this is a blank paper. Now what we will do, till here I guess you guys have actually followed this part perfectly. Okay, next should be Indus Valley civilization. So important question from Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization. So two or three important things. Which year, sir? So it was not in particular year, right? Medoli's, the pillar was constructed not in that particular year. So you do not have to remember this. Okay. So this question will not come in anyhow or in any possibility. Okay. So first, in Indus Valley civilization, what you have to understand that the chief deity, that is, the people used to worship whom? Pashupati. Pashupati Mahadev, right? Pashupati Mahadev. He was the chief deity. Okay. So close to Pashupati Mahadev, there were four important animals were there. Four important animals were there. What were they? It was elephant, tiger. Okay. It was rhino, that is a rhinoceros, and buffalo, and two deers at his feet. So lion was absent. Lion was absent. So remember this fact. So they can ask you in a way that the so chief deity was Pasupati Mahadev. Which animal was not, symbolizes Pasupati Mahadev? So the option must be, I guess, it will be given like as the lion also, right? Hai na? Okay, so there will be option A, B, C, D, and you will be, finding the animal which was not close to Pasupati Mahadev. It was lion, very important. So Pasupati Mahadev was actually important was used as a seal also, very important prominent seal. Okay, so the seal was like basically trademark seal that was put on the trading boxes, so that to understand whose boxes was that. Okay, so suppose I'm using peacock seal, somebody is using Pasupatinath Mahadev seal, so somebody is using like peacock seals, tiger seals. It was like that. So to understand, okay, it was my goods. Second important thing, here you have to understand there are certain cities or with qualities. So city without a citadel. What was that city? The city was Chan Chanudaro. Please remember that. Okay. So next, city with rice husk. Okay. Dockyards and double burial system was present. Double burial system was present. Double burial. What was the city? The city was Lothal. Very important port city. Lothal. Okay. Next. Only site. Only site divided into three parts. That is, we were knowing that okay, there were only two parts. That is the lower town and the citadel. So this city was having three parts. What was the city? This was Dholavira. Dholavira. Okay. Next. So plot, field surface, field surface, 7 fire altars. Where we have founded this? This we have founded in Kalibangan. Kalibangan. Okay. Bangan. It is in Kalibangan. Next, it is like bones of the horses. Bones of the horses. Where we have found this? Bones of the horses. So we can write it over here. Next is fifth one. Bones of horses. Where we have founded this? We have founded this in Surka Toda. Please try to remember all this thing, right? 6 granaries where we have founded. 6 granaries. 6 granaries. This was found where in Harappa. So remember all this stuffs, right? This is important. Okay. Next part is Maurya and Magadha. Magadha and Gupta Empire. Okay. What we'll do? We'll do some segregation next. So it will be medieval from next page. So okay, about the Buddhist council as well. Like you have to know about the Buddhist council as well. So I will give you now PDF from for that Buddhist council, because we cannot discuss it over here as like the time constraint is there, as well as like it will take a lots of time. Okay, so I'm just giving you some brief about the Maurya Empire, that is Mauryan Empire. Two important empire in the ancient India. So it is Mauryan Empire. So Mauryan Empire started from 322 BC and ended in 298 BC. Okay. First, the first ruler was Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya. Okay, Chandragupta Maurya. So the time period of oh sorry, no, it was like about Chandragupta Maurya. In the page, like I have written this, it is not like that. Okay, it is not about the modern empire. So modern empire time period is something different, right? Okay, so it was about the Chandragupta Maurya, right? So modern period has some different story. Okay, so it was about the Chandragupta Maurya. Chandragupta Maurya ruled from 322 BC to 298 BC. 300, sorry, 322 to 298 BC. Okay, so it was the founder, and in 305 BC he defeated Seleucus Nectar. In 305 BC, defeated whom? Seleucus. Seleucus. It is Seleucus. Seleucus. Seleucus Nicator. Seleucus Nicator from Greek, right? Second important part was after the Chandragupta, it was Bindusara. Bindusara, important ruler. Bindusara. He ruled from 298 BC to 273 BC, right? Third one is Ashoka. Ashoka the Great. So it was from 273 BC to 232 BC, right? He fought a war called as Kalinga War. Kalinga War in 261 BC. Okay, so remember this. So remember this important part, right? So understood? So the modern empire, this modern empire was from 322 to 232 BC. After that, it was like latter Mauryas. Latter Mauryas. That is weaker ruler. 232 to 185 BC. 85 BC they ruled. Okay. Next. So another important empire was the Gupta Empire. Gupta Empire. It was Gupta Empire. So the time period of Gupta Empire is very interesting, right? So the Gupta Empire, in the Gupta Empire, you will see they were ruling in ADs, right? After death, you can say, or Anno Domini. So it was the period of 319 AD to 540 AD. Okay. So the first ruler was Chandragupta I. Thereafter, it was Samudragupta. Then came the very famous ruler Chandragupta II. Or he was also known as Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya, right? The fourth ruler was, that is, Kumar Gupta. Kumar Gupta I. And the fifth ruler was Skandagupta. Skandagupta. So two or three important things from here is Samudragupta was known as Kaviraj. He was known as Kaviraj. So you already have known that during the reign of Chandragupta II or Vikramaditya, what we have done, he had actually, constructed pillars, right? Mehdoli's pillar. All the toppers are present here. Next, Kumar Gupta was a ruler who actually establishes what? Nalanda University. Nalanda University. Okay, Nalanda University. And Skand Gupta was very famous for defeating the Huns. Defeating the Huns. So I tried to make your notes or kind of, this lecture as your revision part. So if something is left, so I will try to, give you the PDFs on Telegram. So if you have not joined the Telegram group, you should join there. So simultaneously in the coming time or coming, days, you will be getting lots of PDF over there. Okay, fine. Next segment. Next segment is of medieval history. So we can move there. So before understanding medieval history, so why I have kept this thing blank, just to let you know, after the death of after the defeat of Harshvardhana, Harshvardhan, Harshvardhana's defeat, defeat to whom? Pulakesin to Pulakesin to. So Harshvardhana was defeated by Pulakesin, and Harshvardhan was the ruler of what? Pushyabhuti, Pushyabhuti dynasty, or you can say Vardhana dynasty. So after the death of, or you can say defeat of Harshvardhana, medieval history started. Okay, so medieval history has started here. Now what was happening after the medieval history? There was a area in the northern and northeastern part where three important rulers were actually started dominating the whole area, and this started a tripartite struggle in the north and northwestern, and even in the eastern part of India. So the medieval history started here. So medieval period started here only, where you will see in the medieval period, that is we are discussing about the medieval period between 650 to 1206 period. So here we are focusing more on this period, 650 to 1206, AD. So we are discussing about this now. So what was happening in the northwest and in the northern region, or even in the eastern region? Tripartite struggle was started. Tripartite struggle was started between three important powers, three great powers, three great powers, and those powers were: one, that is the Palas in the east, that is they were ruling in the Bengal and Assam area, or even the today's Bihar or Jharkhand area. The second was the Gurjar Pratiharas, the Gurjar Pratiharas in the north. They were in the north. So Mihir Bhoj was the most important ruler here. Mihir Bhoj, most important ruler. Third one is the Rashtrakutas. Sir, you can marry a Nagaland girl. Why so? I don't want to marry right now. Just focus on the important parts, what we have to discuss, right? The Rashtrakutas. The Rashtrakutas. So see, like in every, classes, there will be fun element you will get, despite of the seriousness of the exam. So young Kikso is like having his enjoyment over here, his or her, I don't know. So the Rashtrakutas were in the Deccan. In the Deccan means in the south, in the Deccan. So these were the dynamics. Like these three powers were fighting with each other after 650. That is after the defeat of the Harshvardhana. Okay, so these things were happening around. Okay, so the Rashtrakutas, the most important or powerful ruler of Rashtrakuta was whom? It was Govinda III. Govinda III, and it was founded by whom? Danti Durg. Please remember this name. Danti Durg is very important. Danti Durg was the founder, and Govinda III was the greatest ruler. Okay, so these dynamics actually was playing here, right? After that, what happened? So you will get to know about this through the questions. Now, who was the founder of Delhi Sultanate? So in 1206, you can see in 1206, what happened? Establishment of Delhi Sultanate has happened. Establishment of Delhi Sultanate. Delhi Sultanate. So the Delhi Sultanate was established by defeating Prithviraj Chauhan. Prithviraj Chauhan. So Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated in the second battle of Tarin by Kutubuddin Aibak. And now what happened? Sorry, not Kutubuddin Aibak. He was the general. So it was defeated. He was defeated by Muhammad Ghori, right? In the year of 1192 in the second battle of Tarin. And thereafter, after 14 years, in 1206, what happened? Delhi Sultanate established. So now we will do quick question answer over here, right? Who was the founder of Delhi Sultanate? Now I have already answered you. Who established the Delhi Sultanate? So it was Kutubuddin Aibak, the first ruler of the Delhi Sultanate. That is, the first ruler was Kutubuddin Aibak. So the Delhi Sultanate was divided in a five, different dynasties. The first was the slave dynasty. Slave dynasty. Second was the Khiljis. Second was the Khiljis. Thereafter it was the Tughlaqs, right? So we have to know all these stuffs, right? So first was the slave dynasty. Second was the Khilji dynasty. So we will know about the even the time frame of these particular rulers. So the slave dynasty was from 1206 to 1206 to 1290 AD. Thereafter it was Khilji dynasty. It was from 1290 to 1320. Smallest rule, right? Third, Tughlaqs. Tughlaq dynasty. So Tughlaqs here ruled over 1320 to 1400, 14 AD, right? Fourth was the Sayyids, Sayyid dynasty. The most less, famous Sayyid dynasty was the least famous here, you can say. Sayyid dynasty. It is from 1414 to 1450 AD, right? And the last dynasty was the Lodhi dynasty. Lodhi dynasty. It was from 1450, or you can say 1451 to 1526 till the first battle of Panipat. So it is actually the Delhi Sultanate. The Delhi Sultanate was having five different dynasties from 1206 to 1526. It was the time period. So I have taught you over here the Delhi Sultanate only, right? Okay. Who was the founder of Delhi Sultanate? So it was Kutubuddin Aibak, the first ruler of slave dynasty. So he was from slave dynasty. Okay. So he ruled from 1206 to 1210, and he died playing what? Chogan. Have you heard about Chogan? Have you guys heard about Chogan? Chogan is like polo, that is horse polo, right? Died playing Chogan or polo. First important information, he was known as Lakh Baksh. He was known as Lakh Baksh. So he granted 1 lakh coin over there. Coin like gold coin, I don't know. It might be gold coin or something like that. He donated it. So he was known as Lakh Baksh. Okay. Started the construction of Qutub Minar. Started the construction of Qutub Minar. So these three important information about Kutubuddin Aibak. So remember this, right? Next, who introduced the Ikta system in India? So there was a system known as Ikta system. So somebody has like initiated it. Who was that? Who was that? The Ikta system was initiated by whom? Try to answer it. Waiting for your answers. So it was established or initiated by Iltutmish, the second ruler of slave dynasty. Okay. So it was established by Iltutmish. Next. Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated by Muhammad Ghori in which battle? So what happened? Prithviraj Chauhan versus Muhammad Ghori. So it was Prithviraj Prithviraj Chauhan versus Muhammad Ghori. So he was from Afghan. He was Afghan ruler, right? So he came from Afghan. So what happened? So Muhammad Ghori was first defeated in the first battle. Okay. So was defeated in the first battle. Defeated in 1191. That is first battle of Terrain. But in the battle of second battle of Terrain, that is in 1192. So Muhammad Ghori did what? Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan, and he even, as per the sources, he killed or somehow injured too much to the that ruler, that is Prithviraj Chauhan. So it was the second battle of Terrain where Prithviraj Chauhan, the last powerful ruler of the northern and northwestern part of India, that is from Ajmer or Delhi part. So he was ruling the Ajmer or the Delhi region, that is Prithviraj Chauhan. So he was defeated, and it opened the gate for the Delhi Sultanate to rule over India. So at the very beginning, at the very initial period, what was happening? So the Delhi Sultanate, or in the slave dynasty, what was happening? Qutbuddin Aibak was having the capital where in Lahore. So he won the second battle of Terrain, and in 1206 they established the slave dynasty. And what was the capital? It was Lahore. So Iltutmish actually shifted the capital from Lahore to Delhi. Okay. So another contribution by Iltutmish is he completed the construction of Qutub Minar. Completed the construction of Qutub Minar. Completed the Qutub Minar. Like completed the construction of Qutub Minar. Okay, fine. Next question. Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated. Okay, understood. Second battle of Train. Who was the first woman to rule Delhi Sultanate? So it was forbidden in the Islamic tradition that anyone from anyone from even royal family cannot rule, as if she is a girl. So she cannot rule the entire, kingdom. So it was against their like male ego kind of thing. Okay, that there are nobles and they are male, and so how can a woman can rule over them? But nowadays it is different. You can understand this. So having wife or something like that. So you might be like facing in, or you can be seeing in your own houses and home, women are like more dominating, right? It is not like anything against them. It is good to see that. So it is Raja Sultan. So it is Raja Sultan. Okay, good. Next question. Who introduced the market control policies and price regulations in the Delhi Sultanate? So see, it was done by Alauddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji was very proactive ruler in the Khilji dynasty. So he did what? He controlled the market policy system and even the price regulation. Alauddin Khilji was a ruler who actually established a whole market system. Okay, he started the whole market system where like people can go and sell up their commodities. Okay, so he is the most powerful ruler of Delhi Sultanate. You can say most powerful ruler of Delhi Sultanate. Powerful ruler, most powerful actually, most powerful ruler of Delhi Sultanate. He maintained a standing army. So before him, no one was interested in having the standing army. So people used to do what? They used to fight and then go back to do their agriculture farming part. So it is like that. So Amir Khusro was there, contemporary Amir Khusro, who is known as the Parrot of India. Amir Khusro, known as the Parrot of India. Parrot of India. He was known as Parrot of India. So you can be asked as who is known as the Parrot of India? It is Amir Khusro. Again, Alauddin Khilji's next question can be, so he introduced what? Two things. Like first, Dag and Dag and Chehra. Dag and Chehra system. So Dag was what? The branding of the horse. So what he used to do, he used to brand the horses. Like I used to do like hot iron part or hot irons, like something tools like thing, and he used to do branding. Like what he used to do, the hot iron should used to be like ramped on the horses, and they get kind of branding over there. So the branding of horses, so to have better horses in his cavalry. And Chehra was a description, a descriptive role of soldiers. So it is a numbering. So numbering of the soldiers it was. So it is what is like soldier number one, soldier number two. So it was descriptive role of the soldiers. Next. So you can write it. Next. Question number 6. Which Sultan of Delhi moved his capital from Delhi to Daulatabad? So who was that? He is also known as the Mad King of the Mad King of Tughlaqs, or you can say the Mad King. Who was that? It was Muhammad bin Tughlaq, MBT, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So there were lots of contribution by Muhammad bin Tughlaq, or important parts. He is known as the Mad King, because of his policies. He shifted the capital from Delhi to Daulatabad, right? Again, he did what? He introduced the token currency. He introduced the token currency. He started, taxing the Doab region. Doab taxes. Doab taxes means, so the lands between that Ganga and Yamuna. So this was the land. Suppose it is Ganga and suppose it is Yamuna. So land between Ganga and Yamuna, that is two rivers. The land between two rivers was known as Doab. So he started taxing more to the Doab people. That is, people who are living in this Doab region was taxed more. So Doab taxes, that is taxing more to these people, right? Who are doing agriculture in this Doab region. Okay. Next. So the right answer is MBT, that is Muhammad bin Tughlaq, second ruler of the Tughlaq dynasty. Who was the founder of Vijayanagar Empire? So it was Harihara and Buka. Harihara and Buka is the right answer. Harihara and Buka is the right answer. Okay. So they established Vijayanagar Empire. It is the empire of the south. South means you have known about the what? Hampi. So the capital of Vijayanagar Empire was Hampi, a very important city, or you can say very developed city, which was ruined by the Bahamani kingdom, because they were actually jealous about the development of Hampi. So it was Harihara and Bhuka. In which year? It was in the year of 1336. Okay. Next question. Who was the ruler of Vijayanagar during its peak? So he was the ruler of Vijayanagar Empire, during which the Vijayanagar Empire reaches its zenith, or you can say peak. It was Krishnadev Raya. Okay. So there were two important kingdoms then. It was Vijayanagar and Bahamani kingdom. Okay. So it was like that, Vijayanagar Empire and Bahamani kingdom. Suppose this is southern India. So suppose this is Krishna river. Right? So there was a river known as Tungabhadra, which is a tributary of Krishna. Tungabhadra river. tributary of Krishna river. So this Tungabhadra used to be their boundary, and they used to fight for this Tungabhadra basin, because at that moment agriculture was the most important, source of income. So Vijayanagar Empire was here. So it was Vijayanagar Empire, right? And above that it was Bahmani Kingdom. So they used to fight over this region, that is Tungabhadra river basin, over the dominance of Tungabhadra river basin, right? So the Krishnadev Raya was the most important ruler. He actually captured this Tungabhadra region basin from the Bahmani kingdom and was the most powerful ruler. Okay, next. Which Bahmani ruler was known as the architect of Bahmani kingdom? So in Bahmani kingdom, this ruler was known as the architect. That is, he actually framed this Bahmani kingdom as a force, right? As an important force. So it was Alauddin Bahman Shah. Alauddin Bahman Shah was the most important ruler, most powerful ruler of the Bahmani kingdom. Most powerful. So during his reign, he captured the Tungabhadra basin from the Vijayanagar Empire. Okay. Which Mughal emperor built the Taj Mahal? So Taj Mahal was built by Shah Jahan. So Shah Jahan built some of the most important iconic, even construction he did. It was Red Fort. He built Jama Masjid also. Jama Masjid. Okay. So we will come to the Mughal emperors in the latter part of the video. Okay. So we will do some descriptive, analysis of the Mughal Empire. So Shah Jahan built Taj Mahal as well as Red Fort as well as Jama Masjid. Who among the following was the last ruler of the Mughal Empire? So the last ruler of Mughal Empire is, who was the last ruler? Answer it. Who was the last ruler? Try to answer it. So last ruler was Bahadur Shah Zafar or Bahadur Shah II. Bahadur Shah II. So he participated in 1857 war, that is revolt of 1857, and was sent to Rangoon. Rangoon. Okay, in Burma, then Burma. That is, nowadays it is known as Myanmar. He was sent in 1858, and he died over there in 1862. He died over there. So in he was the actual main ruler of the, or you can say the main leader of the revolt of 1857. Okay, revolt of 1857. Revolt of 1857. He was the main ruler, or you can say main leader. So after the loss of 1857, the British did what? They sent actually Bahadur Shah Zafar to Rangoon in imprisonment, where he died after 4 years. Next, who founded the Mughal Empire in India? It was Babur. It was Babur in the year of 1526 after defeating whom? Ibrahim Lodi. Ibrahim Lodi, defeating Ibrahim Lodi. So about the Babur we will discuss. So I will discuss about the Mughal Empire in the later part of this video also. So Babur will be the right answer. So it was in the first battle of Panipat. Panipat is the area which is in Haryana. Okay, very close to Delhi actually, like where I am right now. So it is very close to Panipat. Sorry, Delhi. It is close to about, I guess, less than 100 kilometers. Next, who introduced the Mansabdari system in the Mughal Empire? Okay, who established the Mansabdari system in the Mughal Empire? So it was established by Akbar. It was established by Akbar. So it was a basically military and administrative structure. So what was Mansabdari system? Mansabdari system was a military and administrative system, right? Structure it was. So suppose like I am the Mansabdar of Akbar. So what he will do? He will do one thing, like he will assign me a kind of role that, oh, okay, go and like attack where, suppose Bangladesh, and conquer me for that, right? Conquer the Bangladesh for me. So being the Mansabdar, what I will do, I will follow the orders of Akbar and will go and conquer the Bangladesh. And for that, what he will do, he will grant me some of the lands, which is known as Jagirdari system. So Jagirdari system was also introduced by Akbar. Akbar has introduced Jagirdari system. Jagirdari system. Jagirdari system means, so I will be paid not in rupee but in the form of lands. Okay, this was known as Jagirdari system. Correct. Next, in which battle did Babur defeated Rana Sanga? So in which battle? In which battle Babur defeated Rana Sanga? So Babur actually arrived India in 1526, and from 1526 to 30, okay, he actually fought four wars, including the first battle of Panipat, and he died in 1530. So he even defeated Rana Sanga, very powerful ruler from Rajasthan, right? That is Mewar. So he defeated him also. So it was in the battle of Khandwa. Khandwa is a place in Rajasthan, right? Okay, next question. And actually, it facilitated him to conquer the whole North India then. Who was the founder of Khilji dynasty? So it is not Alauddin Khilji, rather it is Jalaluddin Khilji. So Alauddin Khilji was the nephew, nephew of Jalaluddin Khilji. Alauddin Khilji was the nephew of Jalaluddin Khilji, right? Next, easy one. Shershah Suri is known for his. Shershah Suri was the ruler who defeated Humayun twice. Shershah Suri, very important and very powerful ruler in the region of Bihar, that is present day Bihar. From Sasaram he was. So he defeated Humayun two times, right? In the year of 1939 as well in the year of 1940. He defeated Humayun in two battles, right? So the two battles are, he defeated Humayun in these two battles, right? So what are the two battles? What are these two battles? Do anyone know what are these two battles? If anyone know, please comment. Very important part. This is very important. Battles was fought. Do anyone know? I'm just waiting for the answer. If anyone know, please answer this question. So the first battle was in 1939. That is the Battle of Chausa. Battle of Chausa. So Shershah Suri defeated Humayun, right, in this battle. Again in the next year, he defeated Humayun in the Battle of Kannauj, or known as Bilgrim. Battle of Kannauj. These things are very important, right? Please try to remember it. The Battle of Kannauj or the Battle of Bilgrim, it is known. Famously, it is known as Battle of Bilgrim, right? So these two battles were fought by Shershah Suri versus whom? Humayun, right? So Humayun was defeated in 1940 and was gone to Iran for 12 years exile. Okay, so he was that scared of Shershah Suri's power, right? So here Shershah Suri is known for his, what he was known for his, he was known for his all of the above, that is economic reformation, military reforms, land revenue reforms. So the answer will be all of the above. So he did everything. So Shershah Suri was very powerful ruler from where? From Sasaram. Sasaram, present day Bihar. So I already told you in ancient and medieval history. So Bihar will play a very important role over here, right? Next. The Battle of Talaikota 1565 led to the decline of which empire? So this battle actually led to the decline of what? Very important, that is a famous empire, that is called Vijayanagar Empire. So Bahmani kingdom finally defeated the Vijayanagar Empire in Battle of Talaikota, or you can say Talikota. Next, the language patronized by Krishnadev Raya. So Krishnadev Raya was in the famous ruler of Vijayanagar Empire, right? The most famous ruler of Vijayanagar Empire. So which language he patronized? Patronized which language? So he patronized the language of Telugu, right? It was not Sanskrit, it was not Tamil Nadu, not Kannada, it was Telugu. Next, who established the jizya tax on the non-Muslims. So jizya was a tax, okay, introduced on maybe like the Hindus, on the Christians, right? Christians, or you can say the Buddhists, Jains, so everyone. So who are non-Muslims? So a special type of tax for following their religion. A special type of tax was introduced that is was known as jizya. So if you want to practice your own religion, that is basically if you are a Hindu, Christian, Buddhist, Jain, Sikhs, so you have to give certain type of tax to the emperor. It was Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb introduced the jizya tax. So the question is not exactly correct. So jizya tax was reintroduced by the Aurangzeb. So it was first introduced by. So try to answer it. Who first introduced the jizya tax? First ruler to introduce the jizya tax. Who was he? Who was he? First ruler to introduce jizya tax. So it was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. It was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Firoz Shah Tughlaq. Right. So actually he introduced four taxes. Firoz Shah Tughlaq introduced four type of taxes. It was known as jizya tax. Right. The second one is Kharaj tax. Kharaj. Kharaj tax. Next is Zakat tax. Zakat you have to give, and there was Khams. These four type of taxes were to be were to be applied on the people of that particular kingdom. Okay, so these four type of taxes was sanctioned by Quran. So he actually did this as per the Quran. Okay, next. So that is written in the book. So what I am telling you, it's not my personal views, right? Islam, right? Aurangzeb during the period of Aurangzeb, a very very disturbing thing happened actually. So the ninth Guru of Sikh, that is Guru Tegh Bahadur Singh. Guru Tegh Bahadur Singh was killed, right? So Aurangzeb did what? Aurangzeb tried to convert Guru Tegh Bahadur Singh into Islam. But Guru Tegh Bahadur Singh actually denied this particular order kind of thing, or you can say the order of the Aurangzeb. So in response, what he did, he actually killed Guru Tegh Bahadur Singh. After that, you will see Guru Gobind Singh will form the Sikh kingdom as a has formed the Khalsa actually has started forming Khalsa, that is in 12 different missiles. Next, which ruler introduced the revenue assessment system known as the Dah Sala? So from here 21 onwards, these questions are very important, and these terms will be very different. I hope like you guys have not actually studied about the Dah Sala or something like this. So I have kept these type of questions now. So what is Dah Sala? So Dhasala was introduced by whom? Akbar. Dhasala was introduced by the Akbar. What it was for? For revenue assessment system. So it was revenue assessment system. So Akbar along with Todarmal. Todarmal was the revenue minister. So Todarmal was the revenue minister in Akbar. So Akbar with the help of his finance minister, that is revenue minister Todarmal, introduced Dhasala for more accurate revenue assessment. For more accurate revenue assessment. So it was because of this they were be able to understand from where we can get more revenue, or where from where like we have to reduce taxes, something like this, so that the system will be more efficient. Okay, next, the administrative division Suba was first introduced by which Mughal empire? It was king by the ruler Akbar. So Akbar did a lot of work for his administrative reform. So he did lot of administrative reforms. So he did lot of administrative reforms for the efficient functioning of the kingdom, right? So what he did, suppose it is his kingdom, so he divided the kingdom into different provinces. So he divided the whole kingdom, whole kingdom into different provinces, or you can say subas. Okay, so these were the provinces. So this is in English will be known as provinces. Okay, so he divided the provinces into subas, and the one who used to rule over the whole subas, that is the kind of noble, or you can say mantri or mahamantri. So he was known as sube subedar subedars. Okay, so the one who used to rule over the subas were known as subedars. Correct. Next, in the Vijayanagar administration, who was responsible for managing the temples and their vast land holdings? So see, Vijayanagar Empire, okay, they were the ruler who used to, construct a lot of temples, and the temples used to have a lot of properties there, right? So having a lot of wealth. So Nayakas were the person who used to, was responsible, kind of managers. They were the managers who has to manages the whole temple and their vast land holdings. Okay, so in the Vijayanagar Empire actually is very important. So what has happened in Vijayanagar Empire? So during the time of Vijayanagar Empire, you will see the temple known as, that is Vriddeshwar temple, right? It was constructed. Okay, so it was constructed during that period only. Fine. Next. So are you guys following it? Like, do you guys having any trouble in this? Faster? Okay. So not faster than this will be like, will be a fast 150 plus kilometer speed bouncer for you guys. Okay, I don't want that. So I want you guys to like actually listen to it and at least know the facts, so you can revise it in a quicker part. So you can revise it quickly after my class. You can do it for the quick revision, right? Okay. Next, the Mughal officer known as Fauzdar was responsible for they were responsible for ensuring law and order in the region. So the Faujdar, what did Fauj do? What Fauj means? Fauj means the army. Fauj means the army. What army do? They ensured law and order in the region, right? So it is now done by army. Sorry, not by army, but that is by police. But before that, it was done by the Fauj, that is Faujdar. The famous Persian work Ain Akbari, which details Mughal administration, was written by. So Akbar was illiterate. And Ain Akbari was the biography of Akbar, where in which the whole administrative functioning or whole administrative system was written. It was written by his famous poet, that is known as Abu Fazl. So he was among the 9 jewels, that is Navratna. So Akbar used to maintain. Akbar has 9 jewels, right? So among them, you will be having Tansen, some important names: Tansen, Abu Fazl, Abul Fazl, Birbal. You have actually listened his name quite often. You are known, right? Next is Todar Mal. You have just came through Todar Mal. So he was a revenue minister. He was chief minister. Abu Fazl was the poet. Tansen was the musician, right? Next. The title Hazrat-e-Allah was adopted by which ruler of the Bahmani kingdom? Hazrat-e-Allah. Hazrat-e-Allah. So it was done by Firoz Shah Bahmani. So it is one liner. You must know this. Hazrat-e-Allah was adopted by which ruler? It was this. So he was known for his cultural contribution. He was known for his cultural contribution. Okay, next question. Which Mughal empire established a centralized intelligence system known as a Wakaf to improve this, central administrative area. So to know about, know-how of the whole, whole of his kingdom. It was introduced by Akbar. As we have already discussed about, he did a lot of work for his central administration. Who was the founder of Diwane Muktakhraj department, which was responsible for collecting errors of revenue. Errors means the what you can say, to recover the unpaid land revenues, right? So it was introduced by whom? It was introduced by Firozshah Tughlaq. It was introduced by Firozshah Tughlaq. Okay, so it was basically for what? Diwane Mukhtaraz department used to do what? They used to recover unpaid land revenue. Revenue means taxes, right? Next, which of the following Delhi Sultanate ruler was the first to assume the title Sultan? Sultan. Who take the name Sultan first? The Sultan was the name taken by Iltutmish. Sultan. The word Sultan literally means what? Rule as sovereign. This means rule as sovereign. That is head of God, you can say. Rule of sovereign. Next. Sultan means now he is not under Muhammad Ghori or something like that, right? Next. The Tanka and the Jital coin was first introduced by which Sultanate ruler? So there were two type of coins, Tanka and Jital. So who introduced that? Who introduced that? Tanka and Jital. Try to answer it. Tanka and Jital. Who introduced that? It was introduced by Iltutmish, right? It was introduced by Iltutmish. So Tanka and Jital was introduced by whom? Iltutmish, right? So what was Tanka and what was Jital? So Tanka means silver coins. Tanka means silver coins, and Jital means that is copper coins. Okay. So this is the important part. So Iltutmish, the role of Iltutmish is very important. So even he introduced the Chahalganis or Chalisa part, right? Having 40 novels. Introduced what? Introduced Chahalgani or Chalisa. Okay. And abolished by this Chahalgani or Chalisa system. Chalisa system was abolished by Ghiyas Uddin Balban. I know this lecture is getting bigger, but this is very important. I cannot escape these parts, right? So that's why like solving these questions, right? Next. So this is a blank page where we will discuss some of the important topics from medieval history as well. Okay. Okay. So it is now more. It will be like more, not more than 7 to 8 minutes that we will discuss about these particular things. Okay. Next. So some of the important questions from Delhi Sultanate we have to know. Okay. From Delhi Sultanate, important questions which are left. Delhi Sultanate. Okay, so about first Ghiyasuddin Balban. So we have already discussed about Qutbuddin Aibak, okay, Iltutmish, Raja Sultan, but Ghiyasuddin Balban was one of the important ruler of this particular time. So question might be asked from him. Ghiyasuddin Balban. The time period of Ghiyasuddin Balban is 1266 to 87, right? What are the important thing? He broke the power of Chalisa, as abolished the Chalisa, right? Broke the power of. Next, he established the military department. Military department. The name of this department is Diwan e Arj. Diwan e Arj. He started He actually started he took the title of Jine took the title of Jil a Jil-e-Ilahi, means the shadow of God. Shadow of God. These things were done because to like control the whole, people of their own kingdom. So he introduced Sizda and Pebos. He introduced Sijda, important term, and Pybos. Pybos means Sijda means Sijda means like doing greeting to the king. And Pybos is very different actually. It was kissing the feet of monarch. That is, one has to do Sijda, and Pybos. That is, kiss. You have to kiss the feet of the monarch. So who introduced this? Ghiyasuddin Balban. So he actually ruled this Delhi Sultanate by iron hand. By iron hand. That is very by with very tough hand, right? So he did not give any room to the nobles, so that he can do coup to the Ghiyasuddin Balban. Next, so here it is Mughal Empire. So Mughal Empire, the time period is from 1526 to 1857, right? So the first ruler is Babur. Time period is 1526 to 30. So I have already told you that we will discuss about Mughal Empire a little bit briefer. Okay. So he did what in 1526? He did Battle of Panipat. 1526, first Battle of Panipat he did. He came here in India to like just to fight, right? The first Battle of Panipat was happening in 1527. Battle of Khanwa, defeating Rana Sanga. Defeated whom? Defeated Rana Sanga. In 1528, Battle of Chanderi. Chanderi defeated Medini Rai, and in 1529, okay, Battle of Ghagra, defeating Muhammad Lodi. Who was Muhammad Lodi? Muhammad Lodi was the uncle of Ibrahim Lodi. Okay, so it was from Babur. Next is Humayun. Humayun. So we have already learned about this. The rule of Humayun is from 1530 to 40, and then again from 1555 to 56. Okay, so for this 15 year he was in exile. Okay, so he was defeated by whom? He was defeated by Sher Shah Suri. So the most important parts are covered from Humayun. The only thing you have to know is his sister wrote a book called Humayunama. Humayunama was written by Gulbadan Begum. Gulbadan Begum. He was his sister. Okay, next. Now, after Humayun, who was the ruler? It was Akbar. It was Akbar. Akbar the Great, as you say, as you know, because he was very, powerful as well as very tolerant leader. That is, he gave space to every religion in his kingdom to flourish, or you can say to be practiced. Okay, so his time period is very important. So during his time period, what happened? In 1556, Second Battle of Panipat happened. Second Battle of Panipat. Between whom? Akbar and Hemu. Akbar versus Hemu. You must know this also, right? Then again in 1576, very famous battle, that is Battle of Haldi Ghati. Battle of Haldi Ghati took place between whom? Akbar and Maharana Pratap. Maharana Pratap. Okay, that happened. So he built something. Built what? Akbar built a lot of things, right? Akbar built Fatehpur Sikri, a different city. Fatehpur Sikri. It is in close, very close proximity to Agra, right? He actually founded the city known as Agra. Not founded, he actually made Agra as the capital. Next, Agra Fort actually was made by, not Agra, it was Agra Fort. Next, Lahore Fort was made by, Lahore Fort was made by Akbar. Akbar is very important, so I'm just writing it. Allahabad Fort and even Humayun's Tomb. Humayun's Tomb in Delhi. It was made by, built by Akbar. Akbar started a different religion, new religion. He started. It was known as Deen Ilahi. Deen Ilahi in the year of 1581. Okay, so till Akbar, it is very important. Now about Jahangir and Shahjahan. So about Shahjahan, you already know about, like, okay, he built what? He built Taj Mahal, Red Fort, and even the Jama Masjid, right? So these things are important. So I hope this lecture was very important and informative to you guys. So we are winding up here, and please do let me know in the comment section if any doubt or if any suggestion you want to give. Please do me favor of that, right? So tomorrow, so we will join at the same time, that is 5 p.m. And there, what we will do, we will start modern history, right? So that lecture will be also some, some kind of like huge lecture, that could be maybe like close to 1.5 hours or 2 hours. So in that lecture, we will try to, cover the whole Indian freedom struggle as well as the modern history. So I will put up more question from what it was today. Thank you guys for joining us, and till then, tata, bye bye. Thanks a lot, and please do like, share, and comment. Okay. So please, one more thing, like please comment in the comment section if any lecture you want to have. Okay. Thank you.